Good luck.
Merhabalar herkese, hepiniz IEFT Talks Seminerlerine hoş geldiniz. Bugün ABD'nin Pilotaj, Uzay ve Havacılıkta en iyi okulu Embry-Riddle'da eğitim için Michelle bizlerle olacak. Lütfen sorularınızı sağ alt köşede Questions bölümünden yönlendirmeyi unutmayın. Yes, Michelle, the stage is yours now.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I have a short presentation for you. My name is Michelle Parker, and I am with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Feel free to type any messages in the chat box, and I will address all questions once the presentation is over. Thank you. So again, welcome to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I am going to go over a presentation today with you today. And again, my name is Michelle Parker. It is possible to fly without motors, but not without knowledge and skill. That was a statement from Wilbur Wright, a founding father of aviation. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University is the largest and oldest aviation-focused university in the world and was founded on a pioneering spirit more than 90 years ago that continues today, making us the unquestioned leader in aviation and aerospace education. Next, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of our history and statistics. Embry-Riddle was founded in 1926. We have more than 140,000 Embry-Riddle alumni around the globe. That's quite impressive. We also have 7 graduates from Embry-Riddle that went on to become astronauts. Our students, faculty, and alumni are changing the world and beyond. We are constantly investing in leading-edge laboratories and research facilities. We also have the first College of Security and Intelligence in the United States. Campuses. We do have 2 residential campuses, one in Daytona Beach, Florida, which you can see on the map, and the other one in Prescott, Arizona, which is the one further to the west. We also have 18 master's programs and 6 PhD programs located at the Daytona Beach, Florida campus. At the Arizona campus, we have 3 master's programs. And then we also have the online worldwide campus, which is located throughout the world. As you can see, we have 114 locations in 10 different countries. They offer 23 master's programs and 1 PhD program at the worldwide online campus. Now that you've heard a little bit about Embry-Riddle, you may want to know about how to apply to Embry-Riddle in our admissions. On this slide here, it tells you that you would need to submit an application to the campus that you are interested in attending. We do have different applications for each campus. Unfortunately, we can only have 1 application open at one time, so we urge you to choose the campus that best suits your needs. Each campus does have some priority filing deadline dates, and they are located on the website, but we do offer a rolling admissions. Some of the requirements for the Daytona Beach campus would be 3 letters of recommendation, official transcripts, statement of objectives, your GRE test scores depending on your program. If you wish to apply, you can use the application fee waiver code DBOH, and that will waive your $50 application fee, and then also a resume. Just some more detail on official transcripts. We do require all transcripts from previously attended institutions. Transcripts should also include your degree conferred and your conferral date if you have actually graduated with your bachelor's degree. If not, we will need that once you do graduate. Obviously, since you're from Turkey, we would also need a foreign credential evaluation. We do have various companies that we use, and those can be found on our website. You can use WES, Spantran, ECE, a bunch of different locations. GRE test scores are not required for all programs, but on the left-hand side, you can see the programs that do require it. If you're interested in pursuing a master's in aerospace engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, unmanned autonomous systems engineering, data science, or engineering physics, we would require that GRE test score. And we do usually require about 155 or higher. If you're interested in any of our other programs at Daytona Beach, you can see the list on the right-hand side that does not require the GRE or GMAT. Basically, the different steps in application. Step 1, you would do an application review. When your application is complete, we send it to the program coordinator who makes the decision on your admissions. Next, you would receive a notification via email. So we urge you to check your Embry-Riddle Ernie email inbox for information regarding that. Then once you've been accepted to the university, we do require you to pay a non-refundable $200 tuition deposit, and that confirms your intention on coming to Embry-Riddle. You would then be sent an email securing your spot at Embry-Riddle, letting you know we've received that deposit. Step 4 would be orientation invitation. We have orientation each semester, fall, spring, and summer. We urge all students to come to this, and international students definitely have to check in by a specific date on campus with their department through International Student Services. In step 5, you would start your classes. Some frequently asked questions that we get are going to be on the next slide. How can I submit documents? We have a secure upload link within our website. You can submit letters of recommendations, statement of objectives, and your resume through that secure upload. However, for official documents, they do need to be sent directly from the institution, especially for testing. For GRE, your English proficiency, we need that exactly from the institution itself. They can send it by mail or via electronic delivery. These include, as I mentioned, official transcripts, test scores, foreign credential evaluations, and any type of English proficiency. Do we offer housing? Yes, we do offer housing. However, it is primarily given to undergraduate students, as we require students under the age of 21 that they must live on campus. However, there are plenty of places nearby that offer apartments, townhouses, and other housing options. Some of you may be interested in starting classes online. For residential campus students, typically they start their face-to-face courses and can receive permission to take a few courses online. These courses would need to be approved, and you would need to work with the International Student Services Department. If you start as an online worldwide student, you can just then transfer to one of our residential campuses. Some students may ask if they can get their test scores waived. There is sometimes a possibility for this. However, it's something that the program coordinator of your program would determine. They would let us know if they decided to waive any test scores or waive any letters of recommendation. Can you do a double major within 2 master's programs? Currently, you are only permitted to do 1 engineering master's and pair it with the master's in business administration program. Are there any financial aid opportunities? Yes, there are. You would need to have a GPA of at least a 3.2 or higher and submit GMAT or GRE scores. The rough estimates of these scores are in the parentheses, and you do also have the option to do graduate student assistantships. Those can be found by talking with the different program coordinators. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead, and the next slide is show you my contact information and graduate admissions, and then I will open it up for any questions. Thank you again. My name is Michelle Parker, and I'm the Associate Director of Graduate and Transfer Admissions. The direct email to graduate admissions can be found on this slide and the phone number. I will go ahead and take off of my presentation and read any questions that you may have posted. And I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing my screen. I apologize for that. There we go. So thank you, everyone. I see a few people in the chat box. I'm going to scroll up and see if there are any questions. I don't see any. I can post some information in the chat box. We have our graduate admissions website, which I will post in there, which is quite useful. From this website, you can find various tools. You can apply through this website. You can also find financial aid information, any type of questions on what documents to submit, etc.
So it was quite a short presentation, Michelle. Thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome. I'm sorry it was so short. I can answer the question in there. For English requirements, it depends on which English language proficiency you use. I can share that screen as well. For the TOEFL, let me pull up that information. Let's see here. I know our presentations are not generally that long. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Maybe you can share a little bit more information about maybe if you have like social clubs, student clubs.
Sure. We have more than 350 student clubs on campus. And if there's not a student club you're interested in and you wanted to create one yourself, you would just need 2 faculty advisors and 3 students, and then you can create your own club and get funding for that. And I'm pulling up our website on the English requirements. If you studied in the United States or an English-speaking school, then that would waive you out of any English requirements. However, if you did not, you can use, let me share this page. Share my screen again. So on that website that I shared with you, you can go to international students, and then you can go to this international undergraduate, well, that says international undergraduate admissions. I apologize for that. Here we go, international graduate admissions. So we accept Duolingo, TOEFL, IELTS. The scores for TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo would need to be 213 for the TOEFL, 550 or 79 for the IELTS, excuse me, for the IELTS, and then a 6.0 for the IELTS, and Duolingo is 105. And I hear noises, but I don't see any new questions. Any other questions that you have?
Can you go to questions section, Michelle?
Sure. So the general admission criteria, if you want to look at this, we can click on that. I'm in the wrong. Hold on, let me go back. So this is the admitted graduate checklist. The other questions were for undergraduate students. And then orientation. I think this is still undergraduate. It is. So here's the secure upload link that I had in my presentation, which is through the graduate admissions and applications website. You can submit your application going to this link here. You can find out any graduate orientation information here once you've been admitted to the university. If you want to visit the campus, you can actually visit the campus and go here and schedule a tour, or you can do a virtual visit of the campus if you're not able to make it over here, which is completely understandable. And as I mentioned, there's an international graduate admissions here, which talks about the language, the different types of language proficiency that we receive, your affidavit of financial support. We also have our international student services page, which is this website, which I will put into the chat box as well. This is where you would request your I-20. You would go to the Daytona Beach campus and you'd be a new student. Unless you're transferring from the worldwide campus, etc., then you could go to transfer students or current students. If you wanted to do the English proficiency program through Embry-Riddle, we do offer that through Early, which you can find here, Embry-Riddle Language Institute, and I can go to that website. If you wanted to come, you can get a provisional acceptance to a graduate program after completing a successful early program. Here's some of the highlights. Early students come from more than 10 countries. Early students have full access to all Embry-Riddle facilities. They have over 20 hours of classes weekly. You have the option to join student clubs on campus prior to coming into your master's program. So if you're interested in that or have any questions on the early program, we can definitely get you information on their department. They have some different requirements for early on their website. And then the early pathway we do offer with a couple of other companies. And then if you wanted to see the tuition rates for graduate admissions, you can find them here. And I will link this into the chat box as well. And this is estimated costs for graduate students. Most of our programs are 18 to 24 months. And this price does usually change a little bit each year. If you wanted to live on campus, you can see that the room and board is about $13,574. However, we urge most graduate students to live off campus. We also have a Facebook page, Riddle Rentals and Roommates, which I can also post into the chat box if you have Facebook.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Also, we have a couple of questions in the questions section.
Where do you, oh, I didn't even see the questions section. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Let me go to that. Okay, let me start at the bottom. Could you please inform us about the language requirements? Is Duolingo accepted? Yes, it is accepted. We would need a score of 105 or the TOEFL or the IELTS. I can go over those again. The GPA for most of our programs, normally you need at least a 3.0, if not a 3.2. And as far as housing, I did go over that. We do offer campus housing. However, it's only guaranteed to students under the age of 21. Therefore, you should have a backup plan if you want to live on campus. Can we work while studying? Yes, you can work. We do have student employment. You can work with the International Student Services Office for that. And as far as flight, unfortunately, our flight is currently embedded in our Bachelor's of Aeronautical Science program and is only offered within that program. However, if you wanted to fly off campus, you could do that. Flight training is scheduled with the bachelor's program. If you're interested in pursuing the Bachelor's of Aeronautical Science, you can definitely apply to that program. It is also in the same apply now. You would just choose undergraduate versus graduate. The training is going to vary based on which rating you're pursuing. Unfortunately, we do not have a mechatronics department. And then let me get you the link to that Facebook page for Riddle Rentals and Roommates if you want to live off campus. Any other questions I can assist you with? How long does it take for the application process after sending our documents? Great question. Once we receive everything, we send it off to the department for review, and it takes about 2 weeks. They're usually fairly quick, and we do receive a response within a week, but we say 2 weeks just in case. So within about 10 business days. Yes, another great question. Do you have any partner companies for internships? We do have a career services fair on campus twice a year. In fact, we have one coming up this month, October 11th, with more than 100 employers. We do have a lot of students that partner with Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, SpaceX, Delta, United Airlines, American Airlines. We also have an excellent career services department. Let me get you the link to their website. They work with students for interviews, interview process, resumes, any type of cover letters. They are great working with our students. Let me get you the link to their website, and I will put that in the chat feature. And we urge all students to go to the Career Expo because it's always a great event to work with future employers as well as obtain internships. A lot of our students actually land positions before they actually complete their internship. They usually get job offers, which is great. All great questions. Any other questions?
Thank you very much for your answers, Michelle. Also, we would like to ask if you are offering engineering programs because it's highly popular in Turkey.
Yes, we have aerospace engineering, we have civil engineering, cybersecurity engineering, electrical and computer engineering, mechanical engineering, and software engineering, as well as systems engineering and unmanned autonomous systems engineering.
So there are a lot of engineering options.
Yes, there sure are. In fact, let me link them to the catalog.
Yes, that would be awesome.
This is the Daytona Beach link. The worldwide campus, let me pull up their programs real quick. If you're interested in doing any online. The only online, we don't have any engineering online through Worldwide, unfortunately. They would just be at the Daytona Beach residential campus. We also have specific pathways. If you're doing the aerospace engineering master's and you want to go into the aerospace engineering PhD program, they have pathways within the departments that they help out. Yes, we do have a lot of students that go into SpaceX and they do internships with them as well.
Also, could you please mention a little bit more about the application process, like how do you select the students and how they apply?
Sure. For graduate students, we require an online application, 3 letters of recommendation, a statement of objective, a resume, and your official transcripts. If you're interested in any of the engineering programs, we do require the GRE for those programs. A lot of our other programs do not require any test scores currently. We usually require students to have a GPA of roughly around a 3.2 and the GRE around 155 or higher. Once that gets sent to the department, the review process takes about 1 to 2 weeks, and then they send it back to our office and we process the decision, and then the student receives an email of acceptance or if they're not able to be admitted at this time. And I can put the link in here as well, where to apply to the university. And you would just make sure that you go down to the start graduate application now instead of undergraduate, unless you wanted to fly on campus. So let me put that in here. And then to waive the application, you can use the code DBOH, which is $50. So that's a good savings.
Also, could you please mention about if you have any scholarships, like special scholarships for international students or Turkish students?
Sure. Unfortunately, we don't have specific scholarships to international students. We offer scholarships to all students if they submit the test scores of the GRE or the GMAT and have at least a GPA of a 3.2 or higher. However, a lot of departments offer graduate student assistantships to where students can actually perform work for the department and get their classes at no charge. And that would be usually determined once you're a current student with Embry-Riddle. Farouk, I'm reading your message and it says my GPA is at a 2.54. So it would depend on the major you're interested in. That probably would not be high enough for any of our engineering programs. Usually you have to have at least a 3.0. But you can still apply, send in your information, and we can see what the department says.
We have another question in the questions box regarding.
Thank you. For the are there any physical requirements for flight training students? That's a great question. So in order to become a pilot with Embry-Riddle, you actually have to go through an FAA medical examiner's report. So you have to get at least a Class 2 medical through an FAA examiner. And I can actually find that website for you. And it's flightphysical.com. So from that website, you can find, I believe it can be for international students as well, an examiner in your area. There are certain things that do hinder you from obtaining that. Eyesight could be one of them, depending on what it's corrected to. Color blindness, any type of emotional or psychological things that have happened in the past, or if you've been on specific medications. So all those would potentially prohibit you from getting an FAA license. But I would urge you to go to flightphysical.com and then also look at the FAA's website, and let me find that as well for you. I'm going to link their website. I don't know if they have any examiners outside of the United States. Most of our undergraduate aeronautical science students go through our undergraduate international admissions office. I'll be more than happy to put their information in here as well if you would like to contact them and get their information for you.
Yes, thank you very much for your answers, Michelle. Also, could you please share your email address so that if the participants have further questions, they can contact you?
Yes, of course. I'm just trying to find our international office information real quick. Okay, here is the website for undergraduate international admissions. And my email I put both my email and the general graduate admissions email. It's probably best to email the general graduate admissions email, as there are about 4 people that check that, just in case I'm in a meeting, on the phone, meeting with a student, or out of the office. That way your question gets answered almost immediately.
Yes, thank you very much for the great presentation, Michelle. It was informative for the attendees, and you covered all of the questions. Thank you for your answers too.
You're welcome.
Also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Embry-Riddle hakkında daha fazla bilgi almak için chat kısmında paylaşılmış olan linkten Michelle'e ulaşabilirsiniz. Aynı zamanda diğer linkleri de incelemeniz faydalı olacaktır. Bir sonraki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, Michelle. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.